What's going on, everybody? So we're going to be tying up an H&L Variant here. In our vise we have an Arex FW561 in size 14, and for our thread we have Semperfli's Classic Waxed in 12/0, and I am going to wax my thread before starting it on the hook shank here. And then we're just going to start our jam knot. Pop our thread off, move to a good spot. Now a lot of people use calf tail for this. That's what the original was, I believe, but we're going to use calf body hair because the calf tail that I have is not great quality at all. So I'm going to get that in my hair stacker, stack that up. Now before I start that, again, I am going to come in here and wax my thread, and I'm going to come forward and back just a little bit to build a little waxed base there. And we're going to make sure that our tips are perfect here, and they are. And then I like to grab whatever junk is in the back and pull it out there. So we're going to measure this full shank length, and we're going to put it up here, a little pinch wrap to get it going. We're going to come in here and snip this out at an angle. Now, very important, again, waxing your thread. Wax is your friend. A lot of people don't use wax. I don't understand that. I didn't use it for a long time, and my flies are so much better now that I do use it. So you get that secured down there. Then we're going to stand this up, come in with a couple of wraps, and then we're going to separate this into two equal clumps. That looks good. So then I'm going to make a couple going forward. Then I'm going to come forward and I'm going to make a couple going back. Then we're just going to come up against the hair here, and I'm going to come over top of it with a couple of wraps. Same thing on the other side. Now at this point they're spread pretty far apart, so I'm going to stand them up, and then I'm going to come up underneath with some really tight wraps to try to stand them up. Alright, now I'm going to counter wrap. I want to make sure I get that middle area there covered. Okay, and that's what you should be left with. And now for our tail, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use about half as much for our tail, so you get an equal size to what you have for the wings. Alright, then we're going to match this up here, transfer hands, and I'm going to get this tied in, like so. Then we're going to come in here, and I'm going to try to snip this at an angle as well so everything lines up. Then we're going to come up over top of it all, and we should have a nice smooth body for the most part. Now we're going to tie some stripped peacock quill in here. And I always start my first wrap by hand before grabbing my hackle pliers. And we're not going to do many wraps of this at all. And these are very brittle, so just be careful with them. And I like to do a little bit of spacing in the wraps to let that nice black thread shine through there. Just like that. And we're going to coat it with a little bit of UV resin here. Then I'm going to grab one single strand of peacock herl, and I'm going to come over top of that body just a little bit. Just a couple wraps there. Now I'm going to grab two hackle feathers here and get those tied down. I'm going to wrap this all the way up. Then we're just going to wrap these up together. Just like that. Sweep this back a little bit. And we're going to put a little whip finish up in there. I'm going to take a little Sally Hansen's and drip it on there. And there it is, the H&M Variant. Catch you in the next one.